Welcome to episode number 42 of the BEBC
BS
Podcast. Well, we had either an echo or somebody's...
I wanted a solo.
There's a dangling participle there.
You must be getting ready for the Christmas pageant at church or something.
That's right.
What song you singing this year?
Grandma got run over by a reindeer for Christmas.
Oh, here we go. There he is, people. Thad Dingler. He'll be at the First Baptist Church.
Grandma got ran over by a reindeer.
That's like horrible English.
Rand.
Episode 42
Rand.
of the podcast.
Ricky Bell.
Who are we honoring?
Ricky
Jernigan.
Bell. That's awesome, man.
Jaden
Jernigan.
Jaden Networks. Who?
Who's been a warrior.
Mr. Clumper.
Yeah, man, what are you doing? Slamming your phone down like that.
So excited.
He is excited. Jaden Jernigan, number 42. Been a warrior all year, fighting through injuries.
Yep.
He suited up and played this week. Very good to have him back clogging the middle. It's always good to have Jaden around. Clogging the middle and breaking up fights and whatever else he needed to do. Or causing fights in some cases, maybe. He is all around.
His uncle's still out, though.
Timmy is still out. I saw that the other day. He did not play for the Eagles against the Cowboys. So
He's been out a while, so.
he's been hurt most of the year, too. Yeah. So maybe it runs in the family. We got a game to talk about, and we'll get to that in a minute. But first, from the BEBC, we want to give condolences to Coach Gamble and his family on the passing of his father, James, or Jim, whatever he goes by, Saturday morning. And we know that had to be tough. And we weren't aware of it. I know a lot of people were, but we weren't aware that that was going on.
That's the worst thing for a guy when your dad dies, you know.
Yeah.
It's a very important kind of milestone and not a good one that nobody wants to face.
Yeah.
So.
Some of y'all have been through that experience. I know a couple of us haven't yet, and again, not looking forward to it. And so, tough circumstances for him to have a game in the afternoon and have to deal with that really early in the morning. So, again, our condolences. And as you go through this week and go through the grieving process, you know, our prayers are with you. And again, we thank you for doing what you did Saturday based upon everything that was going on. You know, you and Cody and everybody else. So,
Here.
Allen versus Waco Midway.
The Panthers.
Let's just start right there because I'm going to give props. I don't know if you saw it because you weren't at the game, but if it was on whatever you saw, they had one of the best, I'm going to say, half of an inflatable that I've ever seen.
The top half.
The top half. That Black Panther.
That was awesome.
That Panther's bigger than the tunnel itself.
It was.
It is the exact same run-through tunnel in Panther as Duncanville has.
Yep, it is.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. I was looking back at the 16 game.
But theirs in black, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duncanville's
I
is?
was looking back at the 16 game, and they had
tunnel.
the helmet.
Yeah. The tunnel may be
But
different.
now they've got the tunnel just exactly like Midway's.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I'm going to give them props that the Panther was awesome. The tunnel, and it could
Yeah.
use some work, but it reminded me of Black Panther, the movie, you know, when you look at it and you're like, that's awesome. Seriously.
Well,
dude.
we need to get a Killmonger then.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
That was good. Now they had the rope and they pulled it down so it looked like, you know, it was...
Made it look like it was moving.
Falling like RA.
It was on his haunches.
Jumping.
And how would it be to have whoever designed and made that, let's make an eagle like that.
Would that be cool?
That looks fierce and stuff instead of just
Yeah, big nose guy. Or,
big old yellow beak sitting up there.
We can't criticize that too much given how much we hate the Big A.
Exactly.
Well, I like the Big A,
Oh, do you?
so I'm a minority here.
Well, you are.
I do. I like the Big A.
Did you say you like to be gay? My hearing is kind of
It's
bad.
my
I mean,
hip.
nothing against that. I just
my
can't
hip.
hear very well.
It's tough getting old, isn't it?
Oh, here we go.
All right.
Here we go.
Let's move along.
Game.
You had a game.
Oh, there was a game.
There
And I don't know
was.
about y'all. I had no idea what to expect.
Didn't either.
Anybody?
Running back looked good.
Well, you know, you look.
No, let's talk about expectations before we get into the
okay.
game.
Okay.
Expectations.
So the first thing you do is you start looking to see what kind of scoring that they've had in the history of the season. Excuse me, and they get waxed by Trinity.
Waxed hard. First game of the year. 37-7.
And then it shows later on they get rolling and score a lot of points. Don't give up many points.
Nope.
And so you're thinking, okay, they've come together. I thought it was going to be a much closer game. I expected a much closer game. When it was 10-0 at half is basically when I got off work and started listening to the old coach on my way home. I was like, 10-0. I was like, and then, but I know y'all want to get into it, but I was expecting a much closer game.
Well, I'll talk about expectations too. I mean, you look at all the film that was out there, and they reminded me very much in terms of the three, running, passing, quarterback play, very much of Rockwall, except I didn't think they were as good as Rockwall going into it. So I didn't expect as much of a game as Rockwall gave us in terms of the offense.
So same scheme, not as talented. Is that what you're saying?
Similar scheme, not as talented. Okay. They tended to go, I mean, it looked like to me that they liked that post route, liked going up the middle. The running back was a little bit more of a bruiser. You mentioned it with the
he had Robert Newhouse eyes.
Yeah, the bottom half of him, but he was like all of maybe 5'4", 5'5".
Yep, I called Mark and them on my way home. Kind of like and that was first things. Dad, you wouldn't believe that running back looks like Robert Newhouse.
Well, the guys that did hit him low at the ankles brought him down.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
ones that tried to ride him like a pony didn't.
Rode him like a pony for a long way. Yeah, like for 196 yards worth.
But all the games, the thing I saw in all the games is that they were turnover prone, and lo and behold, we'll get into that. But
boom,
kind of the expectation.
Yep. So.
I had no idea. I didn't look at any film or anything, so I don't know.
David, did you?
I was just thrilled to go to a game.
Yeah,
finally after
first
a
game in a
while. Before the game?
Yeah.
Just a few games, but I didn't really think that they played anybody that I really expected.
And that's what I did. I went back and looked at their schedule, and their district is, at least from what I can tell, and it's hard. You're sort of doing apples and oranges, but they had a lot of bad teams in their district, and the only team that they had played 6 teams with losing records at that point in the season, and you looked at the 3 teams they played in the playoffs, and it was, and again, I just used the number off Max Preps. It was like the 170th. The 120th and then the 70th ranked teams, and so they hadn't played anybody that you would consider top. They hadn't played a Rockwall, and they hadn't played a Woodlands, and so Allen's, believe it or not, Allen's playoff run had been a lot harder than theirs. But still, when you don't know, and again, it's apples to oranges, you don't know.
Yeah.
And then you get there and you watch pregame warm-ups, and you're like, they got some big guys. Their offensive line looks big. They got some, they play a 3-4, and their 2 inside linebackers are huge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they weren't real quick, but they were huge. And you're like, okay, you got to get bodies on those guys because they can fill a gap in a heartbeat. And so you just never know what to expect. And so, and again, and given that Allen had played kind of 2 close games back to back, my expectation was, okay, here we go again.
Right.
Is this team going to step up? And so they kick off. Allen gets the ball. Hey, guess what the first play is? Ooh, 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 ooh. You know? You gonna guess?
Well, everybody knows.
I don't want to say what it is. It's disgusting.
But it is. It's different characters, but it's the same stinking play. And I don't know what happens in practice. Again, I don't go to practice anymore because to me you can't see a whole lot.
There's nobody guarding them in practice.
Well, that play, and they did it the first play of the second half too, or their first play of the second half.
Well, and if the ball had been caught, maybe he would have been okay. Maybe he would have made yardage out of it.
That's and that's what I've gotten to on the bubble screen.
Get there quicker.
That is the first thing. The ball has to get there quicker because it is just lobbed out there. And I went back and I watched. It's lobbed out there. And bless Grant's heart, throw the stinking ball out there like a dart because it needs to get there quicker. 2, the receivers that are blocking need to do a heck of a better job. 3, and we'll just take the first play of the game, you got to catch the stinking ball.
Yeah.
Because the execution on that play, at least in the games that we've seen it which is every single game, has not been good. And something always happens where that play results in either negative yardage or no yardage.
Puts you behind the chains.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why do you? And everybody knows you're going to do it. And so I'm just like, what's it going to take?
Well, and that's what goes back to the question of, are they scripting the plays? It was interesting because I heard a bunch of talk about the coaches that a lot of them do it. A lot of them script the first whatever number of plays, and
regardless of what happens.
Regardless of what happens, that they practice it, they should know it.
Well, the basis for scripting plays too is so you can gain an idea of what the defense is going to do when you show up in a certain. How are they going to line up?
Right.
So you're building a reference what you need to do down later in the game. Okay. When we go 3-by-1, does the safety roll to the wide side? Blah blah blah. And then so later on you design plays off of that formation that now you've got what they're going to do. Now you can do what you want to do.
Right.
But it is the bubble screen thing, however you want to cut bubble screen, slip screen. This one was a little different.
Pass,
it didn't go to Theo. Theo blocked down, and the slot receiver came out. And it was, and I thought, man, when I saw it, because I didn't get to hear that play the first of the game, I thought, oh man, I saw Theo come in, and then he dropped. I think it would have gained some, but regardless,
that play would have because Jawan came in, he was a slot and came back, and Theo had the other two guys on the inside. There was room on the sideline for it, but you don't catch the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what they're doing is they're setting everybody up for this week, where they're going to fake that same thing down with, and then
Don't say it, David.
And then Fish is going to take off. Fish is going to take off of a post up the field.
Fish is number 81.
Yeah, 81.
Yeah.
Don't say it, David. They're listening.
And that very well could be. But again, here you go, and it's 3 and out to start to, and you're just and it's been so frustrating all year for a lot of people, not just us. We talk about it. Other people talk about it, just not on this forum.
Right.
We certainly talk to a lot of people about it in person. They hate that play, and everybody knows you're going to do it. And so, and I guess to your point, what you just said, though, isn't that why you watch film? Because you set a game plan based upon what you've seen them do.
Yeah, but
now they can change.
Yeah,
and you change too. But you would typically think that if you're scripting plays, and I don't know whether they are or not, that you've scripted them based upon what you've seen them do as a defense in what you want to do.
Right.
What you think is going to be effective.
But
I got the but.
Hey,
that's why I like that.
The butts are important.
So we watch film and expect them when we come out in this lineup that they're going to line up a certain way.
Right.
So you have to make sure of that.
Yep. No, I agree.
And down and distance and all those things play and factor in on that. So, and also you get a better feel of how you can actually execute. Are your offensive linemen quick enough to, or whatever? Yeah. It's the game speed and which, and I think that's what. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know a lot.
Yeah, you are.
I get some of this information from someone that y'all all know, and you're probably tired of hearing about it, but my brother-in-law kind of helps me out understand what some of the reasoning behind things are.
Sure.
Yep.
You don't know how good you can do against that team until you actually set it up yourself and do it.
Understood. But aren't you typically game planning to what you think your strengths are based upon what you've seen them do on film?
Oh, no doubt. Well, just
that's all I want to say. I mean,
yeah, you
so why do they run the bubble screen against every single team? I mean, do they think that is one of their strongest plays?
See how they react to a poorly executed play?
I mean, I mean, it's a question.
That and
it may work great in practice, but like you say, you're not. They don't tackle in practice.
Well, but give them credit because normally, hey, don't give me that look.
Well,
normally it's Theo
Right.
who's the receiver.
Sure.
And he's the one that everybody's keying on, and so they're blowing up whatever the blocker is, but then Theo's blocking, and they don't know that right off the bat.
Well,
And so everybody's keying on, and he's like the magnet,
Sure.
and it should work. But you've got like one chance, maybe two chances in 3 in a game
yeah.
to pull that off.
So tell me, all right, you watch 10 NFL games, and what play is ran probably 60% of the first play of the game of 10 NFL games? Off tackle to the right. Mm-hmm. The defense is fired up. They come charging in. So maybe if the defense they're all charged up. I don't know. I'm just saying. But it's a very conservative. Most teams run a very conservative play the first play of the game. And is that a conservative play to offer to those guys? Maybe it is.
Yeah. Well, and I'd be interested in statistically how high a percentage play is that? Just in general, high school, college, whatever.
What, the bubble screen
Yeah,
itself?
the bubble screen.
Well, eventually,
It's not high in our.
somebody's going to jump that route and pick that ball off
Which
and go
almost
the other
happened
way.
in this game. Yeah.
which
especially
Mr.
lobbing
Eves
it.
did
All right.
for Lake Travis.
But
last
to your point, not only do you want to find out what the defense is going to do,
That was not a bubble screen.
and Thad and I already talked about that. It was not a bubble screen.
That was last year in the Lake Travis game.
After
That was an
halftime.
out route that Grant looked at the guy the whole time. Go ahead.
Anyhow,
an out route.
But so when you
Stop
start
that.
out a game,
No, 88 just
not
stood
route.
there.
He went out.
and he stood there,
Yeah.
that's an out route.
Well, he didn't stand at the line. He went out.
Hey, regardless,
Anyway.
when you start out a game, you want to know what the defense is going to be doing, but you also want to give your offense a chance to get warmed up and to get whatever heebie-jeebies, whether it's adrenaline, whatever you want to call it, get it out of their
That
system.
play's over.
we spent.
We still have 99.
No, but we're
Yeah,
talking. We're
we
talking
got a
about
whole
the
bunch
start of
more
the
to talk
game.
about. Yeah. So
Talking
anyhow,
about the start
3
of
and
the
out. And again, I would like something more productive on the first play of the game on first down. Like you say, since you're not looking at 2nd and 10. And anyhow, they went 3 and out, and Midway gets the ball. They get 1 first down. 3rd and 13, they do what everybody else has been doing in the last 2 games, try to go over the middle. And the guy was there, but Healy got his hand on the pass and just tipped it just enough that he missed it. Midway punts, and then Allen starts running the ball with their running backs.
Yep.
That's why they're called that. Manning rips off a 20-yarder to start. There's a false start. Grant takes off running. He fumbles. Sherfield jumps on it in this series. Saves.
But did it look like he was down? I couldn't tell.
No,
when
he was
Tony's-
not down.
Okay.
Yeah, because we looked at the replay on the screen. Big screen. He got twisted around. And he was on top of people when the ball came out.
Okay. I couldn't tell from
Initially, I thought he was because I thought the ground caused the fumble, but
Yeah.
he didn't. When they showed the replay from the end zone,
because on Tony's it shows that the next play was from where Sherfield
recovered
because
it.
they cut it off and
Yeah.
okay.
So they continue every play in that drive that gained yards was a run, and it ended with a Tisdale touchdown run.
Yep.
And so Allen goes up 7-0. You're like, and I turned to, I don't know if it was you or Sherry or Nolan. I said, if they want to run the ball like that all game, run the ball like that all game, because that was a very dominant. You could see, and one of the things you saw all game was EJ 20 yards downfield with his man.
Blindsiding it.
Yeah.
He was pissing some people off.
Over and over, and that didn't show up on Tony's video.
Yeah.
but
Wow.
He was
Yeah,
just.
it was out there.
Yeah, he wasn't putting up with anything.
He wasn't, and it didn't matter which one of those guys he was on, the big linebackers or the linemen. He was driving,
Yep.
and I saw Ford do it. I saw Trice do it before he got hurt, and you could just see, all right, that trench right there belongs to Allen. And they ended up with what, 340 yards rushing,
Yep.
and on 58 carries, so pretty healthy number, yards per rush. But you could see that, and that drive, I saw that, and I was like, oh boy, they just want to do that all day. I'm fine. They don't have to throw the ball if they can continue to do that.
Yeah.
Midway gets the ball. Mo gets caught looking in the backfield, and they complete a long pass down the sideline. They get into Allen territory. They complete another pass over the middle to number 7 on a post route, and they get down.
And then a little redemption.
And then they try to go to the well once too often, and Mo jumps underneath on the post.
Yeah, he did.
And he intercepted. His first interception of the year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was all excited. And boy, his dad, I don't know if y'all saw his dad.
Yeah.
His dad was down there dancing.
Maurice was having a good
Perkins
time.
got the moves.
Tony's video showed.
Yeah, it showed him doing that too. But I was looking at it. I was watching Maurice. I was like, man, that guy got some moves. But he was all happy. So you get the pick, and which, obviously was huge. The one of 4 for the day.
Right.
4.
5 turnovers, 4
4
picks, yeah.
And so Allen gets the ball back. Theo gets a first down catch. The drive stalls. Ended up with a field goal.
Yep.
Was that 42 yards, something like that?
Yep.
Pretty good kick.
Mm-hmm.
Allen's up 10-0, and you're like, and I think all of us, and that's starting in the second quarter, were a little frustrated at that point. There was a lot of people, and it wasn't just us, about the play calling and what was working and what wasn't working, and quarterback runs continued to be prevalent. What did Grant up? And again, some of those were
I
off
think
the
he
pass.
had 19 rushes for 85 yards.
Yeah. When your quarterback is your leading rush attempter, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I never have liked that. Unless Vince Young's your quarterback, then we might talk. But I just think there's a stable of running backs there that they should be using, a lot more than they do. Grant, I mean, there was one series, and I wrote it down, where Grant had 3 straight runs. You're like, why?
And were they planned runs
Yes,
or were they scrambled runs?
all 3 were planned. That's why I wrote it down, because I did that.
Yeah.
But Allen goes up 10-0 after the field goal. On the ensuing kickoff, their receiver, for whatever reason, decided to go east-west rather than north-south. And Dragish makes a great play, tackles him at the 2.
2 or 3, yep.
And the first play of that is a fumble in the end zone. The quarterback happens to pick it up, throws
And
it
he
out.
barely gets the ball out.
Yeah, but they ended up punting. And
Fair catch.
a fair catch at the 35-yard line with at least 10 yards to run. And I couldn't figure it out. I screamed. I was mad. My wife's like, Mark. I'm like,
Everybody was.
yeah. You're like, and again, I hope it's not called from the sidelines to fair catch, because we know that has occurred.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
Because
it was a preordained.
he had, Sherfield had plenty of room to run.
Preordained.
And so Allen gets the ball on 35. They drive down to about the 10.
Diddle around.
Grant takes not a sack, but he tried to run to the right, got tackled for a loss. He ended up attempting a field goal.
Let me ask,
And you
because
missed
I can't remember if he did or not. Reason might be that he fair caught it was, did they look like they were going to try to block the punt and no blocking at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then he shouldn't have fair caught it.
No, there's...
I mean, if you're going to, that might be a case where...
Watch
if
Tony's video is actually
yeah,
good on that. You can see
sees
separation.
I couldn't remember. If you're sending everybody and you don't have any protection, you might go ahead and preordain the fair catch.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting.
But if that's not the case, then I think that's bad on whoever's
His
part.
call, yeah.
If there are two people back to receive the punt, and you're on the right side, and it's obviously not going to you, why do
Move
you
up
stand there and
and
just
block.
watch the thing happen
Yeah.
instead of going up and nailing?
Tagging the jackrabbit.
Yeah.
I mean and probably because, and that's why I was thinking
Or maybe
he had to have been told to fair catch it, because the other guy,
The other back didn't do anything.
yeah,
Wasn't worried
which is
about it.
Juwan, I guess, or whoever it was.
or
Riley.
maybe
It
it's
was
your
Riley.
job
Oh,
to
really?
help in case he muffs it.
In case
I don't
of a
know.
fumble, to be there to jump on it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
I don't know that.
But on that series, too, it's important to note on back-to-back plays, Allen lost 2 linemen. Nick Trice went out, and then the next play, Tate Brooks goes out. And one of the things that we talked about on the way home was the play of the people that took their spots. And, 59 Braden Sanders and 64 Colton Ellert played great.
Yep.
And you could hardly, you didn't notice a drop off at all. Nothing against the guys that got hurt, but there wasn't any, especially when you look at the
They
center.
rose to the occasion.
Who
Yeah.
actually is third on the depth chart because 65 was the backup who's been out for a while. Now, which means that 59 has been the backup for some time. But as far as starting out the season, he was number. That's not bad to have that kind of quality at number.
Is he the deep snapper, 59?
No, 80's the deep snapper.
But he did a really good job. I didn't see any really horrible snaps.
And he's left-handed too, so boom on that.
He had one bad snap.
Get out of here.
It went past Raylan's head.
Yeah, that is
Well,
true. Just
could
one,
that
but
be a height issue?
No, it went right here.
I went this way. It was over to the left. Yeah, but they did a great job, and they filled in, and like you say, next man up, and we don't know the status of the boys that are hurt. Hopefully, they can play
find
this
out
week.
next week.
And that's what's good about
We'll find
Allen
out Saturday. Yeah.
doing so well, being out front of everybody,
Yep.
the rotation, people get to play,
Yep.
they learn. That's what's great about it.
And they played well.
Yep.
Besides all the umpires.
Allen misses a field goal. Midway gets the ball. Quarterback scrambles, gets a first down. Quarterback scrambles again on a 4th and 3 that they went for and gets a first down. And then the quarterback got greedy and tried to go down the left sideline.
Oops.
And underthrew it. And guess who's there again?
Now, this is that 4th and 3 where, they weren't even going to measure. Is that where we are, or was that in the second half?
That was second half.
That was second half. No, it's a 4th and 3, and everybody dropped back, and he scrambled for a first down. It was simple. But then Mo gets another pick. Just towards the end of the first half, less than 2 minutes left. He catches it at the 3. They put it back at the 3. Allen gets a first down, but then on the next play, Theo gets caught for blocking the back and
And the guy,
unsportsmanlike, which I couldn't find out what he did.
I couldn't see it either.
Yeah.
It could have been words said to the ref, but that the guy that he was blocking was going up to him and then just immediately turns his back to Theo, and Theo shouldn't have shoved him, but
He did.
he did.
So, because that drive started on the 3-yard line. Manning got 5 yards, and he got another 5 for the first down.
Yeah.
And then on 3rd down, Tisdale gets sacked.
Right.
If you remember, he got
Right.
Also, 2 guys are chasing him back there,
Yeah.
and so
And they were just enjoying it, and then
they're
Grant ran again, right? But
Yeah.
he was going around the right side.
Well, he was
third down.
was
He's when he
escaping.
got sacked.
Yeah, he was trying to
Yeah.
get away from guys, and it was a called pass, but he had nowhere to go with it.
Yeah.
And so they go to punt, and I get confused by this, and I just shake my head because the clock's winding down. You've got 10 seconds left on the clock. You've got 5 seconds on the play clock.
To touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Well, I'm going before that, even
Yeah.
before the punt, when Allen
Full
calls timeout, and I'm like, why didn't you run an additional 5 seconds off,
Right.
or at least 4, and then
Right.
call a timeout with 6 seconds left as opposed to 10? It's like if you shank the punt, or
Or
if
it gets
blocked,
whatever,
or
yeah.
there's lots of things that can go wrong, and you're leaving time on the clock. Again, a coaching decision. I don't understand it. I'm not a coach, but that's what happened. And so Allen punts. And I told this to Thad.
So they called timeout
Yeah.
between the 3rd down and 4th down.
Yeah,
Right, gotcha.
yeah. After 3rd down, when Grant got sacked, they
Right.
let it run, but they could have run an additional 4 or 5 seconds off
Right.
the clock.
Right before they called timeout.
I like big punts, and I cannot lie.
And that was a big punt.
Well, brother,
Because it almost got blocked, didn't it?
It almost did get blocked, but it rolled and it took a good bounce. And then there's several Allen players following it, and there's 2 coaches right on the sidelines as it comes towards the sideline, yelling at the kids, "Don't touch the ball. Get away from it. Don't touch it." The Midway guys had
Yeah.
already moved away. They weren't
Yeah.
going to pick it up. Don't touch it.
And what happens? Gonna say it.
It's just like a teenager. You tell them not to do something, what do?
They picked it up.
They touched the ball. And thank the Lord above, there was no time on the clock.
Kind of like Carroll against us. Remember at Cowboy Stadium?
1 second left.
Because their guy touched
their
it.
guy
with
touched
1
it.
second left.
But again, you get away with it, but you just wonder, because we're in the stands and we can hear the coaches, "Don't touch the ball," screaming, and there's 2 of them,
Very loud.
and they touch the ball. And I'm just like, I could never be a coach because I'd be in so much
You go
trouble.
Bobby Knight.
Oh, we're throwing who knows what. It's just so
You
frustrating.
could pre-record it. What were you thinking?
So halftime rolls around, and everybody kind of just looks at each other, and the consensus in the stands,
10-0.
they're not happy. The Allen faithful are not happy, and that's not just us. It's a lot of people,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of talk on the concourse
You know what I was thinking is
What were you thinking?
I would like to have gone back and just done the whole first half over again.
Can we do
But
it?
I was afraid that those refs would call me past interference.
Past interference.
We should have had this last night when he couldn't have been here.
Oh!
It would have been much better.
That was
No,
fun.
And we could have seen the basketball game too.
Much more better.
Yeah, we
And
could,
like Thad pointed out to me, Allen had because there was a lot of frustration amongst the fans that Allen was only winning that game 10-0, and because it appeared, especially the defense was playing so well, it just appears that you should have looked up and it should have been 35-0 or 28-0.
Does that make the fans ungrateful?
I don't know what it makes. I'm not here to speculate on that. All I know is there was a lot of people that were upset.
We're reporting the facts.
Yeah.
Well, I want to support what Thad was saying about, the first half, the coaches, they run things because they want to see what will happen. They want to see what how their defense reacts to it and all that stuff. And I think that we, as Allen fans, have been used to teams offensively, even with Yonke and Seth Green, all those guys, that attack. From the get-go, we are attacking. The offense would attack to try to score. And last year and this year, it seems like it's more, maybe that's what he's doing, to try to defend Alford. Maybe that's what he's doing
It's reactive as opposed
it's
to...
very uninspiring, but maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe
Maybe
that's
it
what
is.
they're doing.
Maybe it is. I wish they'd tell
Because the
us.
second half, everything always changes.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And so there... I guess I go back to the thoughts on what were your expectations for the second half based upon the first, and you're like you said, it was kind of uninspiring because that game was still in doubt in my mind because you had two picks that saved, I'm not saying they saved touchdowns, but they saved very good field position.
yeah, they were in the
red zone.
Yeah.
Both of them were in the red zone, and you go, okay.
Well, coming out the second half,
And
hoping
Midway
on
gets
top
the
of
ball.
They get the ball
Right.
coming out.
Yeah.
hoping for a
is a good
defensive
thing.
stop, which, the way the defense had been playing, there's probably a good chance of that.
Sure.
But Thad and I, on a previous game or in previous conversation, had talked about this, as opposed to just complaining, well, what can they do? Why do they run this, off-tackle stuff, whatever? It's like, what can they do to make that off-tackle run more successful? Or what can they do to make whatever they're doing more successful? And for me, that was the answer that I got in the second half, was seeing some of the plays, and I won't mention exactly which ones, but there was a wrinkle thrown in to throw their defense off, and then boom, they kind of ran the same play that they've always been running, but it was with a little deception, and it was successful.
Yeah. Well, and when you look at the first half as a whole, like I got sidetracked a minute ago. They had 5 offensive possessions. They had 2 punts, a touchdown, a field goal, and a missed field goal.
Yep.
So theoretically, you're looking at a 60%. If you'd have made the field goal, a 60% score rate, you'd take that any day of the week. But you just didn't have the feel.
Right.
And I go back to, and a lot of mine is based upon what happened the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, granted they won, but you just
looks very unorganized.
it's I don't know. I like comfort, and I like a 28-0 halftime lead where I can breathe a little easy in the second half. And maybe that's just me being greedy. Obviously, it is. And a lot of people are like, well, we just won a good game. We won a good game. I'm like, I like a blowout. That's just I don't care. I'd rather win by 30 than by 1. That's just me.
Well, and with the talent that we think that we have every year,
That's the expectation.
Your expectation is that this is what should be occurring.
Yeah. So it was a very disconcerting halftime, and so they come out in the second half. Midway's going to get the ball. They kick off, which they've been doing, to the 10-yard line, and by golly, Midway gives Allen a gift.
Chest up.
Kind of like the Skyline game where it pops off the guy's front and one of our guys is there to jump on it.
Zaytique McGee recovers the fumble on the kickoff. First play. What is it?
Business.
What is it? What's the first play?
Scrubble bean.
It's a scrubble bean that there should have been a flag on.
He tackled the receiver before the ball.
He
got
did.
there.
He tackled.
Oh, it was horrible. It was
And
so obvious.
God bless Theo, and Theo knows I love him, but Theo did a horrible job blocking that kid because he ran right through Theo's block and tackled
The crap out of
Raylan
him.
before the ball even got there.
Yeah.
And the referee.
But Theo waved at him as he went by.
Oh, did he wave? Did he go? Did he give him the horns down sign?
Hey!
Yeah.
Yeah, that play could have. We talked about a bubble screen going the other way.
Right.
That one
Yeah.
had. It was close. If the guy would have looked for the ball instead of Raylan, he might have been able to take that and go. So everybody breathes a sigh of relief. You're like, okay, let's figure this out. It ends up being they drive down on, and I think on second down, Grant, it's a 1 yard touchdown run, gets pushed in the end zone. Somebody,
by the gang.
I don't know who, the whole gang in, and so now you're up 17-0. You're like, okay, thank you, Midway. You just gave us something, and you kick off again. Midway gets the ball to midfield. They have 4th and 1, and for whatever reason, when you got Fulbright, the one thing you got to remember too is they only had 28 yards rushing in the first half. Allen had done a very good job of shutting down the run, and they really didn't. At least at that point in the game, Fulbright hadn't opened up yet, and so 4th and 1, I'm thinking they're going to give the ball to Newhouse. That's what I just call it.
Yeah.
Well, no, they run 2 in routes, and the quarterback throws it for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yes.
He just airmailed it, and I went back and looked, and I think one of those guys might have been open, but
He didn't throw it to him.
Well,
wasn't even
the
close.
one I think he was throwing to, he may have, if it would have been a catchable ball, Butler could have probably separated him from the catch, so he was right on him.
yeah, but.
But he threw.
I went back and looked at it. I was like, dude, that wasn't even close. I mean, we talked about Grant throwing high last week against the Woodlands. He didn't throw anything that high.
I mean, I probably would have had a chance to catch it, but not many other people.
That's true.
If you were standing on the sidelines where it landed.
I was at work, dude.
No, come on, man.
I was in my car.
So,
You doubting his skills?
yeah, for real.
Sweet skills?
Allen gets the ball, and then we see one of the wrinkles you talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a reverse. I went totally blank.
Pitch back in around to
Yeah, to
Jawan.
Jawan Mason takes it all the way down to the 20, and here's where you had 3 straight quarterback runs.
Yep.
3 straight quarterback called runs, which gets us down to about the 10-yard line, and then this is something we talked to somebody after the game on the phone about. They call a pass play, and Grant rolls a little bit to his left, but he kind of stays in the pocket, but he just buys time. He doesn't take off and run, and he buys time.
We did a little fake there too.
Yeah, and Theo separates.
Yeah, he
Theo
did a little
comes
drag
from the
route.
slot, the
Yeah.
drag, touchdown, and then you look up and you miss the extra point, but it's 23-0, and now you're going, okay, momentum is really taking off here,
Yeah.
and this team is starting to look, like the team we think
A
it
bit
is.
more well-oiled machine.
You've got,
type.
first of all, the play calling is very different than it was in the first half,
Yeah.
and you've got people starting to execute. And all of a sudden, you got a 23-point lead, and you're like, okay, here we go. Midway gets the ball back.
They come down and score on this one, don't they?
Yeah, Fulbright breaks a couple long runs, and then
And
Wide open pass up the
post-
middle.
it
Little
is
post right
with
up the middle.
non-starting defensive line.
yes, but that guy's a load. I mean, and like David said earlier, once he got in the secondary, if you didn't go for his legs, it was going to take several of them to get it down because he just kept churning.
And he had a couple juke moves that were working.
He did well, but it was the same play. It was the dive right up
Yeah.
Right up the middle.
right up the
where-
middle. Yeah,
Where
off he went.
Seth and
Jernigan
Jernigan
usually
they would
sit.
have that plugged up
Yeah.
like they did the first half.
So off he goes. They get a touchdown on the post route. Right, it's 23-7, and now Midway thinks they got something going on.
They're
It
getting
was a
ready.
beautiful pass.
They're
play.
getting
That was
ready.
great. That was
my
you look
God.
at it. The guy he beat Mo. There wasn't any chance for that one.
Yeah. He
Allen-
just gotten a couple steps ahead.
Yeah,
He's gone.
they pooch kick it on the kickoff. Allen takes over 30. They do a reverse to Raylan for a first down. they threw a pass to Manning for another first down, and
Then they threw a bubble screen to
Selden Manning.
Green.
Before you get there, Selden Manning, that boy, he just lowered his shoulder at the end of that run.
Yeah, he did.
And said, "Here I am."
Yep.
And
Kaboom.
And he's not a big kid. He's not like a Fulbright, but he just stuck his head down and said, "I'm coming for you. Here I am." And good for Selden. Then you're right. The next play is the Blaine Green.
The Blaine Green bubble screen.
Yep. And you're like, all of a sudden the passing attack opens up, and you get down to the 24-yard line, and it's kind of the same play they called before. Grant stays in the pocket, moves just a little bit, and guess who opens up again?
Theo across the middle.
There you go. So you got another touchdown. You're at 30-7. You know, thank you, Midway. We're right back where we started.
Yeah.
23-point lead. What you got? And they didn't have anything. Then when Midway went 3 and out, again the defense played great. They punted. Allen took over at the 24. Why is it so far down? Can't remember. Anyhow, they did another reverse to Juwan.
Yeah.
And this time Juwan took it to the house. And
That was where the backup center, Sanders,
Right.
had the seal.
the best block we saw all day.
Yeah.
You know, Allen turned around to me and I said, "Yeah, I saw it." And I knew exactly what he was going to say because he got to the edge.
He was doing the dotsy-do with that old boy. He
All
was
you saw
shuffling right
was
down.
59 looking, you know, his backside. He had him sealed, and Jawan went right there. And Jawan's very fast. Track man playing football. What is it? Ronaldo Nehemiah?
Speed
Skeets Nehemiah.
Speed demon.
The great hurdler that just couldn't catch.
Yeah.
Oh,
If he could have caught it, it'd been great. But off he goes, and
What?
it's 37-7. And
The domination.
yeah, Midway gets the ball back, and they drive down. And it was funny because it was me and Sherry and James, and I look over to James. I said, "Did you notice this quarterback always throws to his left?" I said, "He hadn't gone to the right all day." And so the next play, what does he do?
Go to the right.
Throws to his right, and oops. Well, now I know why he didn't throw to his right. He underthrew his receiver
Yep. Right into the hands.
of Williams, and that was an exciting
Oh, Cornelius, man.
85-yard interception return for a touchdown. You know, and kudos to everybody who did not block in the back, all the way back.
Yeah, when I was watching Tony's video, 91
Latos.
Latos comes up and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yep," and he kind of just he threw his hands up.
Good.
You know,
they
those
learned.
and
discipline.
And Cornelius, he, you know, to his credit, came out with a burst of speed.
Yeah, he did. He was
and
fast.
then he pulled up a little bit, waited for the blocking.
Then cut
yeah,
loose.
he did. He got
Afterburner.
got his convoy.
Yep. So in a matter of, and I wrote the times down, from the 3:57 mark, you went up 30-7 to that interception. 30 seconds left in the third quarter. You're now up 44-7. So there was a lot going on in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the third quarter that just blew open that game.
Must have been a little bit how Southlake felt.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, since about a minute and a half into the first quarter.
Yeah. On the ensuing kickoff, a little controversy. And we've all watched the video. Number 9 calls a fair catch, but he kind of fumbles the
He
ball.
muffs it, right?
Muffs it. He goes down to get it, and he's met by Zatique McGee, who Zatique was down there all,
He goes
all
after the
day.
ball.
And Zatique stands up, and that kid stands up, and I'm not going to say it was a punch, but it was a shove
Right.
right into Zatique, which then causes everybody to kind of merge that way. And
Right.
like you said, number 14.
14 came in for them because he thought Zatique was going after his
Yeah.
guy, and
And so that got even more people in there. And you can see from, if you watch Tony's video, you can see Marcus Thomas
yep.
heads toward the pile. Doesn't make it because he's intercepted by number 19, the
Who
big
slams-
bully
who
linebacker,
slams him to the
who
ground.
turns and body slams Marcus to the ground. Marcus gets up. Our guys grab him. He doesn't do anything.
No.
He gets pulled away, and the next thing you know, Marcus Thomas is being ejected from the game.
Now, one of theirs guys got ejected.
Yeah, number
too.
9 got ejected too.
Did he?
He
Okay.
did get ejected, but you're like,
How 19 didn't get ejected?
yeah, the guy who body slams
Yeah.
Marcus does not get ejected. Marcus
Yeah,
didn't do anything.
I wonder if they could go back and watch that and appeal
I would,
I would.
his
All those in
suspension
favor?
of the first.
Yes.
At the first,
because he didn't do anything
And
other than get body slammed.
And I wonder if that's even in the process that they
don't
can
know.
do that.
Well, I think I heard a while back
Who has
that,
Terry's home
that is
phone?
part of their process is they have to rewatch those games and see where they could improve or
Of
they
the
made
officials.
mistakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was clearly a mistake. Unless Marcus reeled off a string of profanities or something, because you can get penalized for that.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be ejected
You darn bully.
for words like that. I mean, he didn't throw a punch. He didn't even tackle. He didn't do anything other than walk to the end of the scrum,
Yeah.
get grabbed and thrown out pretty violently. I mean, I give 19 credit. He threw him down hard.
Yeah, he should have at least got a horse collar.
Yeah, and then that was it. And so you're like, well, Marcus, sorry that happened to you, buddy, because you didn't do anything wrong. And so I hope the coaches review that and see that and say, hey,
Go to battle for him.
yeah. So that's that. And, fourth quarter rolls around. Midway still can't do anything. Raylan gets a touchdown on a very nice run.
Yep.
He led the team down on that drive. Raylan had a lot of runs on that drive. He's very elusive.
And strong.
He is strong.
On the punt, that look,
Yep.
they hit him, and he just kind of, both feet just pushing off. Very strong kid.
We need to give him
Good
a
night, and
Marcus Thomas award. Marcus, my mind just totally went blank.
Ward.
Marcus Ward Award.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tough runner.
And I wrote down, for this game, Marcus had a great game. Marcus was all over the place. If you go
he
back,
was.
he played great.
They had him blitzing a lot.
He did, and he was in the backfield quite a bit.
All the time.
And
And Mo, obviously.
Mo, I got written down. EJ
EJ.
just led that offensive line. He was a man possessed, and I loved watching it.
and then the two backup kids.
I got them written down as well. And then Healy played very well, too. Healy was involved in a lot of tackles, and he seemed to be everywhere. He's kind of like the Leighton Vander Esch, man. He's just everywhere. You look
Yeah.
up, and it's
I
Healy.
like having that, yeah.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Well,
So,
and then one more shout out.
nope, no more. We're done.
Yes,
Go ahead.
The chicken call.
Jet Waters.
Jet Waters.
Jet Waters makes an interception toward the very last part of the
fourth
game.
pick of the game.
Yeah, he jumps in front of that kid. Maybe it was just instinct. Maybe it was just that he saw it coming. But good for him.
It's exciting when the guys who don't play as much get stuff like that.
Yeah.
So good for Jet and good for having receiver hands. As opposed to Healy, who's got linebacker hands. He missed an interception. He should have.
Bricks.
It was tough. That'd been a tough one.
Yeah.
So Allen wins 51-7. Duncanville wins 51-7.
Eerily similar. I was
And-
looking at
and-
the stats.
Region 3 and Region 4's finals had the same score.
38-21 in both of those games.
Isn't that weird?
Some ironicery in that.
You think so? So you got Lake Travis playing North Shore at
Statisticalism.
2 o'clock
So
Saturday.
the winner of our game will play the winner of their game, and the winner of our game will win 51-38.
You think so?
I hope so.
Against,
That's what math says. I understand what you're saying.
I'll say this: if
I'll take.
If either one,
38
if
every
Allen
day.
wins and can score 51 against North Shore and or Lake Travis, I'm all for that.
Yeah,
So there you go.
I'd settle for 51 against Duncanville.
That'd be awesome too.
as long
Now-
as they don't get 52 or above.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't settle for that.
No. Well, and one of the other
I
things.
don't want to be the average what
you
they
know-
have all year long.
Yeah.
True. You know, the
4.5.
calling of that game was horrible if Midway only gets one penalty for 5 yards.
Is that what it ended up being?
That's what they
it
show.
was.
And it
They had one false start. Yeah, you got to look at that. Now, Allen didn't have that many. They just seemed to be timely,
Timely.
costly.
oh right.
Yeah.
Right.
Penalties. So
Which to me seems
that doesn't
more
make sense. though.
subjective.
Well, I guess they offset.
Yeah, they offset and so it's like
Yeah.
it doesn't count, because
So they
it's not
didn't count.
enforced, yeah.
So the probably much anticipated matchup that everybody's kind of been, the rumble's been out there all year of, okay, who's going to meet in Region 1, Region
Yeah.
2 finals in the state semifinal is here.
And for me, it's the state championship.
You think so?
The guys on Friday Night Glory are really trying to build it up big time
Oh, I
because
know.
when they're doing the post game interview, Now y'all go up against the number 1 team in the nation. You know,
Yeah.
one
Oh, we
poll out
love
of
being the underdog.
75 polls that are out there has Allen as number 1 in the nation.
Yep.
And so to make this a bigger story than what it really is, and I think that one kid from Duncanville answered the question right. Hey, it's just the next team that we play,
There you go.
basically.
Yeah.
And they seem to be having their head in the right place. So
Yeah.
Have you looked at their competition? I mean, because they've absolutely dominated everybody they've
Yeah.
played, period.
Well,
They have, and I'm not taking anything away from Duncanville, and I won't. And most of we were talking earlier before we started, you know, most of the talking heads think Duncanville is going to win this game.
I think I heard that
Yeah.
they have 7 D1 prospects.
Yeah.
The quarterback is a junior, and he has like 15.
4-star junior, yeah.
And so some
Like-
SEC.
Sounds like
not
Soto.
even- That's why I'm not
Dude's
even
got
going to the
he's
game.
got a
You're
good
not even
arm. He's got a good arm.
You're gonna watch it on TV even?
No.
No, you're just gonna like meh.
It comes down
Whatever.
to
Hang out with Kyle.
whoever wants a game more. And,
Yep.
and like I said before, they're hungry.
Yeah.
And they're good. There's no doubt. And if we don't come out from the kickoff to all the last play of the game with intensity, you know, and wanting the game,
And discipline.
then we're going to fall short.
Yeah, I think I've been thinking about this a lot this week. It's like, okay, the difference.
All 2 days of the
know.
week.
But I think a lot. I actually started
Deep
thinking on the
thoughts.
drive home the other night. It was just like the one thing that Allen will always have an advantage over everybody else that they play 95% of the time is Allen always gets everybody's best shot. Everybody, whatever their A game is, they always try to bring their A game.
Even playing West.
Even playing Old West. And Allen's been through that, and those kids have been through that. And it's like every week you've got to perform because everybody wants to beat Allen. And there's an experience level you gain from having to face that every week.
As opposed to just being the dominant, you know.
Yeah.
How
on the
many
block.
times in the recent history have you said to yourself, "How did we win that ball game?"
It's been a while.
But there have been some times.
in some of the key big matchups,
Oh, the DeSoto
like
matchups.
DeSoto
for sure.
and Skyline
Yep.
and other games that you come out to the game. We won, but how did we win it?
Yep.
There's just
There's something there.
a mystique.
I listened to Tepper and
Mystique.
Steps podcast today, and they went through all 20 semifinal games, and they got to the Allen game, and both of them were like, you know, we can see Duncanville winning this, but I'm picking Allen because it's Allen. And until somebody can knock Allen off the perch, they've been there, they've done that.
Right.
That's where we give the edge to. And so I was like, there's something to be said for that.
But
And so I think the game experience that Allen has had, all those kids that are playing for the Eagles now have
It's a
experienced
benefit.
it. There's a benefit to that.
I do think it will be very important, though, that we come out and start putting doubt in their mind early on in that game that they can be beat.
Yeah.
Because the difference between a pack of donkeys and a pack of horses, when trouble comes, the donkeys all look out and kick each other,
Yeah.
and the horses look in and kick,
kick out,
You
yeah.
know, so we got to get them wanting to kick each other.
Hey,
quick.
they're very good.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone sitting at this table didn't think they're very good. And it's going to be a battle. And I think
Well, in their game against Southlake, probably said more about Southlake's depth and ability necessarily than
They
them.
didn't match up well at all
No.
physically
No.
with Duncanville.
no, and Allen can.
And Allen
Yes.
can match up with them physically.
Allen
Yeah.
comes out and gets scores right off the bat. You know, goes up by 2 touchdowns. Right away, they're going to have doubt in their mind because they've never
Yeah.
been down it. They've never been that way.
And vice versa.
Scored 14 on
Exactly. Nobody's ever scored that many.
Well, South Grand Prairie did because they were actually tied with South Grand Prairie 14-14, and that was the first time all year that they had given up
14
points like
points,
that.
yeah.
And they're like, now they ended up pulling away from South Grand Prairie. And again, that's probably a talent difference.
Yeah.
Sure.
The problem for them this week is they've got a team on the other side that is just as talented as they are. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really interested in seeing what the coaches come up with this week.
And I feel like I'm the biggest Allen fan as anybody in the world. But I will not be shocked if we lose Saturday. I mean, I won't be.
Yeah.
I'll be disappointed that the season's over. But that's what I think of Duncanville's ability.
Sure.
I mean,
Here.
And I think it's the same, even if Allen wins and they go to the championship game, I think the same feeling exists. Because when you're this far in the playoffs,
there's a lot of respect for both teams
that
before going
is
into the
just-
game, and whoever wins it,
this is
a lot of
this
respect.
is well, and again, you don't, and we're going to talk about Kyler here in a minute. You don't have a transcendent player.
no.
right.
That to me, I never felt like
We were out of it.
never did because of
Skyline game, What, end of the
Well,
third quarter, we're down by how
I didn't
much?
feel
18?
like we were out
Middle
of it
of
in
the
that
third.
game as much as I did when we were
DeSoto.
playing
DeSoto,
DeSoto.
oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
the
were a few
challenge was
miracles.
always there.
Crybaby.
But I look at it and go, I'll take Kyler Murray over Desmond White any year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll take Tom Westerberg over
Reggie Mathis.
What's his name?
Claude
Claude
Mathis
Mathis. Not Reggie
any
Mathis.
day.
Reggie Mathis.
I'll take my 14-year-old son over Claude Mathis.
Yeah,
Hey,
there
hey.
were just things that you could look at and go, okay. And Allen's got great players. I'm not discounting that, but you don't have a Heisman Trophy winner
No.
running your show. Who you got such an air of confidence with him on the field. It's a different thing, and you're playing a really good team. And so the next 2 weeks, Lord willing, I'll let Lord willing.
Yeah.
Sounds
I
like
tell you
wood.
what, whoever comes out of this is going to have to win 2 bruising physical games.
Yeah,
I mean,
unless Lake Travis wins.
well,
Because Lake Travis' defense is not as good as it has been in the past. Now, offensively,
Yeah.
you
That's-
got Wilson,
quarterback's
Bard.
good.
I'm not giving them much chance to beat North Shore is what I'm saying.
No.
And maybe they will, maybe they won't. You never know. So, but anyhow, it'll all be fun. Saturday, 4 o'clock, AT&T. There's going to be a lot of people there. It's on
Yep.
TV.
Channel 21, 4 o'clock.
And I'm sure that they'll be rooting for Allen.
And you know what? I don't know how deep.
Ladarnius?
Tweet Doug.
I don't know how deep Duncanville is. I don't know if they go 2-3 rotations, and if they don't, it being a televised game is going to help them.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah,
with the
slows it
longer
down.
timeouts and thing for television.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's my disappointment in it being televised. It's just it slows the game down and
yeah.
takes them out of the flow,
Yep.
I guess.
On a happier note, and it's
Yeah.
been discussed ad nauseum, but we'll discuss it because we're all proud of Kyler.
Yep.
And, we drove back from the game and we stopped at Snuffers and Richardson and grabbed a table to watch the Heisman ceremony. And,
We lit that place up when he won.
we did. People were all looking around like, what in the world?
And
There was
karma is
7
crazy
of us.
because our server graduated from
Allen
Allen
High
High.
School. She was an Allen graduate, and she was all excited. And but yeah, it was neat to see a kid that we know.
Yeah. And have watched come up from being a sophomore.
Yeah,
And
one of the things I find I kind of chuckle all during this year because all of the things that he's doing at that level, we've seen it all. Now,
Oh, yeah.
different level, and but it's nothing any different than what he did in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so, my expectation for him, I didn't think he'd win the Heisman because I just didn't think he would because not that he doesn't have the ability, but being 1 year in a system,
right.
you don't expect him to do what he did. He had a great year and great people around him, and it was really cool to see, everything he went through, and Kevin and Missy and all that. It was
one of those
awesome.
things where the stars just aligned.
Yeah.
He had such a great year.
Now, who was the last Heisman Trophy winner from the Dallas area?
Tim Brown,
Tim
probably.
Brown.
Yeah.
Woodrow Wilson.
You didn't think I'd know that, did
Nah.
you?
What year was that? Was that the 80s?
88, 87.
I was going to say 86, but it's around in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golden Dome.
87.
Yeah. So
Hey, and there was a sign
sign,
At the Midway game.
Oh, there was a
that
sign.
was covered up, and I am told that it said "Good luck, Kyler."
Yeah. I'm sure it did.
So that's
It
why
said
they covered
something
it up.
about we didn't want to go to Arlington anyway.
Yeah, something like
Somebody
that.
mentioned on Facebook last week, I noticed that naming a street after him, and I forgot what street they said, but somebody said 900-pound Way should be.
Yeah, but that's a company that sponsors.
Well, no, that
bought the rights.
It's an auction item at the Foundation for Public Schools. They auction that off every year, and you can buy that. So that one may not, but why not do Riverside for a Rivercrest from?
I'm sure there's going to be something.
We'll see.
Well, either that, or we can just rename a street in Louisville.
South could do that. Anyhow, Kyler,
one that goes east only.
Congratulations. We're proud of you, and we're having a watching party on the 29th here.
Yep.
For the OU Alabama game, and as much as it kills me to root for Oklahoma because I'm a T-sipper, I'm going to do it. And I told Sherry I might even wear a shirt. So
here's the question: are we having a watch party for the Georgia UT game? How confident are you?
Well,
I don't know.
I hope y'all enjoy the game. Okay.
Where are you going to be?
Not at that game.
Watch UT in Georgia.
What else are you going to do on New Year's night?
I'll be in Kona.
Oh, he's going to Hawaii. There you have it.
Well,
I have an Ironman.
You have an Ironman?
At the In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh, I wish I had it.
So, before we go, one last thing, because we like to celebrate events. And we have a birthday boy in our midst.
We do.
And just because of that, because I'm a heck of a guy, Collins Street Bakery has donated one cherry icebox cookie to Mr. Thad Dingler.
Birthday,
How many years is it, my friend?
53.
Whoa!
You're an old man. Come on, work it. Work
You
it.
know how
It
to work
won't
that?
work.
Work it.
Good night.
You broke it. You broke
It
the
won't
lighter.
pop.
Here, let's see it.
Oh, well.
There may be one out
Who's
here.
in charge of props around here?
I don't know. Anybody? Oh, yeah. See, here's one. Did you get to
There's
work?
one, too.
Oh, Sam's got it.
Oh, you mean
Now
you
we
have to
got
pull
two.
the trigger?
There you go, my friend. Happy birthday.
James was a crackhead before being
That's why he took
rehabilitated.
that
He
line.
knew how to
Get
work
that
the
heroin.
line.
But anyhow, happy birthday. 49, really?
53.
53. I was going to say, I was confused by that.
38?
53. Happy birthday, my
There you go.
friend. Enjoy
Happy
your
birthday
birthday.
to you. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you,
Happy birthday,
folks.
Dad.
Yep.
Happy birthday to
Oh,
you.
I'd like to have, for my 53rd birthday, maybe try to get 53 more subscribers.
We are the world.
Enjoy your cookie, my friend.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. So, all right, folks, 4 o'clock Saturday. We'll see you. AT&T Stadium. Come by, say hi. Until then, peace out. Is that what you want to do?
Peace out.
All right. It's over, and we're out.